neighbors say they're afraid of him.
Are you guys his neighbors?
I cannot get home, huh?
Are you guys his neighbors?
Yeah.
Really? So what's it like? What do you guys think's going on?
I don't know. He's touching people.
He do too much.
We're going to talk about Will Smith because I just saw the most awkward interview that he had. AMP Davis shows Dr. Umar his white girlfriend, and he did this.
Hi.
Good afternoon, likewise. No hugs, please.
Okay.
No hugs. Do you guys remember Angry Reactions?
This girl is making the world think that I be over here abusing her, bro. You know I'm not this type of person. You know this. You know this. She knows this. She knows this.
Cheers, YouTube. Welcome to What's Brewing. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Guys, what I'm not going to do in this video is talk about the regular stuff that you've seen on this Diddy situation. Of course, we already know that his multiple houses have been raided, and there's a lot of talks right now with what's next. It's interesting because a lot of times when a male celebrity is getting accused of something and is in the spotlight of the media, people will stand up for that. A lot of times you see people, and I mean this assuming that there's a lack of evidence. You would think that there'll be at least one media outlet that would be pushing that Diddy is innocent. And the truth is, most people don't think he is, including myself. I've hinted to this many times in videos. Not speaking up in this type of a situation is a protest in itself, and people deciding where they stand when it comes to the Diddy case and situation. Are you really surprised, guys? Are you really surprised? I mean, when you really look at Diddy's life choices, the people who he's kept around him, the women, the type of lifestyle he promotes, are you really surprised that women overall and his lack of being able to quench his thirst, his sexual thirst, being able to control his depraved habits, are his downfall? Does that really surprise you? I think there are a lot of lessons to be learned when it comes to this situation. One of those lessons is something I've been told many times and I've been warned about. You know, men's downfall usually amount to about four things. Number one, women. That's a huge one. How many great men do you know who've been led to their demise by their lack of control when it comes to women? Making women the center of their focus to the point where you do anything to feed those sexual desires of yours, and you haven't brought those to discipline. You could create a monster within yourself. So the first one is women. The second one, drugs. The third one, gambling. Gambling is separate because gambling is different. It's a different type of a monster and has destroyed many families, many men, many homes. Do you guys know what that last one might be? Money. The love of money, being willing to do anything for money. And every man's different. And you have to realize what that may be a problem for you. And you have to contend with that beast, because if you're not able to, well, look at Diddy Combs. Look at the lengths that he was willing to go to feed those unquenchable sexual desires within him, and then the partying, the drugs and everything. It's obvious it's over for Diddy. It's over. Let's check out some of these comments on this raid video here. I searched the Diddy Homeland Security raid video, and this came up. A bunch of people here commenting. What's interesting to me is that the top comment here says, Cat Williams eating popcorn right now. That's hilarious. Cat Williams did talk about this. Let's see what Cat Williams had to say. Cat Williams on Diddy. Let's see. Let's go.
Oh, you're
No,
the
I
best.
want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You proving it here today. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it. You proving it. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't. People say that he lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need to know.
Think of how powerful that statement still rings true till now. How many people are getting exposed right now? I see these photos and videos popping up of celebrities who've partied with Diddy. How many of those people are looking back and saying, I should have said no. I could have just said no, man. Why did I have to kick it with that dude? How many of them regret going to these parties? And Cat Williams' interview seems to be the interview that keeps giving. So, guys, here. What I'm not going to do is highlight the same issues that everybody's been talking about when it comes to this Diddy situation. I want to talk about a couple of things that I saw that were interesting, a couple of videos that I saw that stood out to me. You probably haven't seen these yet. The first one was this one. It's a video that is captioned P. Diddy's neighbors say they're afraid of him. And so these are P. Diddy's neighbors reacting to the raid. Here's what they had to say. Let's check it out.
Are you guys his neighbors?
I cannot get home, huh?
Are you guys his neighbors?
Yeah.
Really? So what's it like? What do you guys think's going on?
I don't know. He touching people.
He do too much.
Are you serious?
He do too much.
Oh man.
Touching people. He not supposed to be touching.
Hey, limos.
What's your experience with Diddy?
I ain't never going over there.
Yeah.
Hey, when my basketball on top, I just let it be. I ain't gonna go knock on
All right, be easy.
He said, when my basketball goes over top, I just let it be because I don't even want to go knock on their door. If your neighbors are speaking about you like this, if your neighbors are speaking about you the same way that the victims are speaking about you, then there's an obvious problem here. Too many people are saying the same things. Too many people are saying the same things. It's not just the victims. Too many people and your neighbors.
Be easy out here. They're honking at you guys. And I appreciate you guys. Here's these gentlemen once again.
So it looks like the neighbors weren't allowed access to their houses while the raid was going on, is what it looks like here.
I think if you have an ID.
Oh, yo, hold on. Don't need a copyright. So I think he asked him where they stay, and they told the paparazzi where they stay. And then they posted this photo that says, if that's true, they live right next door to Diddy in a historical estate where Humphrey Begart and Lauren Beckel lived. Interesting. Let's check out some comments here. First comment here says they are not Diddy's neighbors. Someone said, what makes you say that? Because they are young. Somebody else here says, you must have missed the part where he said he was calling his dad. So people here are jumping to conclusions, being like, no, they're not neighbors. They're too young. They could be kids, right? Living across the street. Another comment here says they're in a Bentley and y'all can't believe they're his neighbors. Somebody else here added, people judging these young men because of how they look. Here's another comment that says, somebody's rich kids, shaking my head. Another comment here says, I want to know these guys' TikToks, find them. Somebody says, me too. Here's another comment that says, what do they do to be living in such an expensive neighborhood? I mean, they're young men. And so they probably live with their parents. Like the first comment said, the dude said he was calling his dad. Another comment here says, why isn't it believable that there's neighbors? Let's see. All right. So people think that they're making up some shit. Here's a tweet that I thought was really interesting from Candace Owens about this whole situation. And I'm curious to know what you guys think of this particular tweet from Candace Owens. So she posted this thing on Twitter. She posted a statement on Twitter in regards to this whole raid. She said the feds are currently raiding Diddy's house. They already knew what he was up to, but he's going to jail to be the fall guy so that they can protect the people at the top of the ring. They're raiding his home to hide evidence, not to find it. She ends her tweet by saying that's how this works. What do you guys think of that? Here's a disturbing thought that I always think in these type of situations. It always surprises me how only one person goes down in these situations, right? There's always one person who goes down, and we all act like it's not absurd that things play out that way. You're telling me that when you look at these situations where there's trafficking concerned, that one person really was able to set up a system and lure people in, and that one person was the only person involved in those parties and setting those parties up? You're telling me that one person, Diddy, was setting up the itinerary for these parties, that one person was getting all the drugs, that one person was the only one enjoying all that alcohol, festivities, and participating in the unspeakable sexual acts? It was just him setting up the whole thing by himself, and nobody knew anything. They would just show up, and he just had the time and manpower. Just Diddy? I always think it's strange to me that they do kind of play things out where it's just one person who takes the fall. Do you guys think? And of course, here we're entering conspiracy land, and don't get offended, because, you know, people love to get offended when you call something a conspiracy. I think some conspiracies may be true. But do you guys think that that may be the case, that they're there to possibly hide evidence? Or maybe you're thinking it might be both, that they need more evidence to make sure that they that they need more evidence to make sure that they really get him locked up. Here's a video that may support that statement. This is a strange video that talked about how Diddy really documented every part of his life. Something tells me that that documentation may have included some type of blackmail that he had on other people. There have been plenty of accusations of like revenge, PORN, that Diddy's been accused of from other people. Let's check it out.
Diddy invited me over for dinner a couple months ago.
Oh shit, yeah, I saw that.
He told me, he gave me a piece of advice. He said, I've been documenting everything in my life since 1992 or whatever it was. He's like, I have footage of everything. And he's like, make sure that you bring a camera everywhere. It's important to document your life and to be able to look back on these moments and maybe be able to one day share these moments with other people, and they can draw inspiration from it or whatever it may be. Diddy.
Yo, Meek Mill's gotten so attached to Diddy now that they just have to add him in every photo. Let's talk about another person's career who's done. Meek fell with Diddy. I think that's insane and slightly humorous to make sense. I really wasn't a fan of Meek at the end of the day. You know, Dreams and Nightmares, of course. Club Anthem. What do you guys think of that Meek Mill situation? But documenting everything since 1992. You're documenting everything since 1992. When you look at the Cassie situation, they're talking about he used to like filming those acts and taping things that were happening. Let's check out some of these comments and see what people have to say. Oh yeah, top comment says, Cassie said this. Here's somebody else who says, you have to tell Diddy no. Another person here says, so Diddy got tapes on everybody? The laughing emoji. Here's someone else who says dinner, because I'm in quotation marks there because he was like, Diddy invited me to a dinner. At this point, anyone who said no to Diddy must be thanking God. Anyone who said no to Diddy for anything whatsoever is sitting there probably wondering if God personally was looking out for them, because the type of negative statement you're making to the media right now by being caught up with Diddy is just a horrible, horrible look. Now, there's more that I think people aren't talking about, like the situation with the raid and how they had his sons in handcuffs. A lot of people said, well, that was unnecessary. And I was wondering if it really was unnecessary when I saw this next video right here. Let's check it out.
This is perhaps the biggest claim.
All right, and this is Candace Owens, by the way, talking about breaking news and allegations about Diddy and his son being involved in some type of a murder. Check it out.
This is perhaps the biggest claim, is that Diddy and his son murdered someone in plain daylight and got away with it. There's apparently a man that they know, that everyone who works with Diddy knows, that they can call and they essentially will get everything cleaned up. And they are implicating the LAPD in this madness because they produced fake reports. And he's got some real good evidence to back up these claims. He says that one evening during a camp that they were running with several musicians, Mr. Combs and Jay Combs were in a heated conversation with somebody named G. And while this conversation was moved out of the studio and into a restroom that was adjacent to where Jones was sitting, he heard approximately 2 feet away from him again, Mr. Jones is the producer that's suing him, gunshots suddenly ringing out. He recalls hearing multiple gunshots. Mr. Jones immediately went into a state of shock and fear that he would be shot next. He genuinely believed that he would be shot through the door due to how close he was. After the shooting ended, a crowd gathered around the restroom. When the door finally opened, Mr. Combs and his son exited. G was lying on the restroom floor in a fetal position, holding his stomach and bleeding out of his leg and his hip area. Everyone stood around and looked up at him. Frustrated by the lack of aid that was being provided, Mr. Jones, the producer that's suing again, dropped everything, ran to the guy, and immediately began placing pressure. As he was applying pressure on his stomach, he realized that G was gushing blood from another area. He decided to lift G up and place him to sit on the toilet, and he asked the crowd to call the ambulance. Now, here is what is interesting. The ambulance does arrive, and Mr. Combs, according to Mr. Jones, Diddy gives strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced the producer to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot while standing outside of the studio. And the police just believed this, despite the overwhelming evidence that this shooting did not take place outside of the studio and that it instead took place inside near the bathroom. He includes in his lawsuit this photo.
That's crazy. Look at that. Wow. You know, when you start hearing ties with the LAPD and him having that much influence and protection over him, then people start to wonder, how deep does this really go?
of the bathroom and we are blurring it here, of the blood in that bathroom. And then it is stunning because he also shows how the media then reported it, right? A fake police report was produced, and then fake headlines were the result. This is CBS News. Man shot outside party at Hollywood recording studio. The key word there is outside. How on earth could the LAPD be implicated in lying? Well, he alleges that there is an individual, again, that they know that they can call to clean up any types of murders. And that individual will make sure the right officers write down the fake police reports and that those are then fed to the media to cover up murder.
Wow. Wow. Crazy. Check out some of these comments. First comment here says, Diddy called the cleanup man Ray Donovan. Here's somebody else who says, I believe Diddy have something to do with Biggie Smalls and Tupac's death. Of course, that's a pretty common belief amongst a lot of people. Here's somebody else who says Diddy knows Ray Donovan. Here's somebody else who says, what about his ex-wife that suddenly passed? ... He been doing this for years. Somebody else here added, narrator lying. Diddy has not been arrested. Somebody else here says, what about Biggie and Pac? And so there's that. Have you guys seen that video of Diddy walking around in Miami? This is the most recent update that I've actually seen concerning this situation. It reads, Diddy's electronics reportedly seized in Homeland Security raid. This is when now they get all the information. This is when they find enough evidence to actually lock him up. It's over for Diddy. It's over. It's over. There's just no other way of looking at this. I'm curious to know, though, what do you guys think of what's happened so far? What is your opinion about everything? Do you think that other people will fall along with Diddy, or do you think he is the fall guy? What are your thoughts? Share them down below. I am curious. Moving on. We're going to talk about Will Smith because I just saw the most awkward interview that he had with Speedy Mormon. Yo, this shit was so awkward. I thought to myself, is the whole Smith family like out of their minds? You know, people joke around and be like, oh, Jada broke Will Smith, but maybe they were perfect for each other. Hearing Will Smith talk here, there has to, the man's lost it. Check this out. Let's get it.
There are a few people.
Hold on. All right, let's go.
On earth that I feel even comfortable asking this question because I don't know that they would have the answer, and you certainly will not. But you'll probably have something closer than I do. So as someone who has studied like a bunch of the religions, as someone who has done a ton of spiritual work, what does Will Smith believe is the meaning of life?
Well, that's a big one.
So he's asking him about what the meaning of life is. Listen to Will Smith's response, man.
So even the concept of the meaning of life is your mind trying to fathom the unfathomable. Just sit here for 30 seconds.
Right now? Okay.
What is going on?
Look at me. Now look at you while you're looking at me.
Oh, damn. He just did it. Whew.
What? What is he talking about? Now look at you while looking at me, while looking at you, while looking at me. This is some awkward shit, bro. I don't know what Will Smith is on. I know he does like weird Middle Eastern drugs and stuff like that. And probably thinks he's smarter than the average person because of it. But this is just strange.
I'm trying to. It's not easy, though.
You're right.
This man's out of his mind. I don't care what you say. Will Smith lost it a long time ago. And I blame Jada.
That's where you will find the meaning of life.
There are a few people on Earth that...
Stop. The host thought that shit was weird too. He just didn't want to get slapped in the face. Check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment here says, before all the ignorant comments start popping up. Oh, here we go. Speedy literally just said, I'm trying, but it's hard. But he kept going. Will literally just put that in perspective for him. Life is about consistently trying, even when it's stop. You're trying to explain something through. You're trying to justify this whole weird moment. This moment was strange and it was weird. I hate it when people do this. People who try to sound like shit's just so deep. No, get off that shit. I'm not going to do this, bro. I'm not going to do this. Let's just read comments from other people, like this person who posted an emoji where he's saying this is some crazy shit. Another person who says, I actually get this. No, you don't. Let's see. Are there any normal people in these comments? There we go. This is us. All right. This person had their coffee. Here's another person that says, Will, funny as hell. No, that man's dead serious, bro. Somebody else who says, I'm sorry, I would have burst laughing if I was Speedy. Me too. How did he keep a straight face? That's my question. So there's this video of Dr. Umar. He's on this podcast with a guy who happens to be dating a white woman. And he brings his white girlfriend out to meet Dr. Umar. It's sort of like a funny satire moment. Basically, the white girl comes out, who's the guy's girlfriend. She starts kind of like hitting on him. I want you guys to see his reaction. This video is actually pretty viral right now. It's pretty popular right now on TikTok. Let me see. So the caption of the video reads, AMP Davis shows Dr. Umar his white girlfriend, and he did this with the dead emojis. Check it out.
One black parent rule. If you got one black parent and you psychologically identify as African, you one of us.
She 100% psychologically.
But you said she has some black.
I don't know what the percentage is.
Well, we need to know.
So he's telling her that his girl has some black. And Dr. Umar is like, if she has one black parent, then she could be considered black. I don't know who makes the rules. I feel like Dr. Umar at this point is turned into a comedian, and the whole Snow Bunny thing is more of like a satirical thing and not really taking that seriously. Hence this video. Let's check it out. It's pretty funny.
Know what the percentage is.
As a matter of fact,
because if she got 1% black, she ain't black.
Baby, can you come in here? She's in the building today.
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce her.
What is her ethnicity? What's the other ethnicity? What is the mother is what and the father is what?
Okay, the reason I'm having a hard time is because I don't want to mislabel people.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Look at Dr. Umar's disappointment, man.
Nice to see you.
Hi. Nice to meet
Good
you.
afternoon. Likewise. No hugs, please.
Okay.
No hugs.
You know, you could come sit right here. Is everything in the shop? You can come sit right here. Between us.
We having a conversation.
No,
How you?
come on, sit right here. Okay. Yeah. So,
Nah, scooching over. Come on.
we gotta get cozy now, brother. Come on.
No, go ahead.
So I was telling Umar, my issue with you is that you be in the club. You talked about, I don't even know what the term is, swapping or switching partners one time. Like, I just.
Okay, so there's a part 2 to this. Let's check out the second part. So she's telling him that she's interested in him. We're talking about Dr. Umar here. This is his response.
I'm interested.
Really not interested.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, Tori. Thank you.
Positive?
No, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
You can't even look me in the eyes?
I'm absolutely positively sure. I don't want to
I
join.
feel like you're making some severe eye contact with my girl.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, you're making some eye contact with my girl.
I see the signs, too.
No, that's like.
Was Dr. Umar, like, did he know this was going to happen, or was he ambushed here? Because this is actually pretty funny.
I see them.
No, there's no signs. There's no signs.
I see the signs. I'm going with him.
You're going what?
Nah.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, I'm not interested in the story.
But you
And he's
love
been
me
excommunicated from the black.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
Now, whoa. I'm in the black community still.
No, you're not.
Come on.
You've been excommunicated.
Stop it. Nah, it's big. No.
You've been excommunicated. Men who are not loyal to the black community, we kick them out.
He won't even want to give you a
He's going
hug.
to get some paperwork in the mail that lets him know we're snatching his melanin.
Whoa! No. I'm black.
So he's obviously playing into the joke right there.
I'm black.
In all honesty, Miss Tori, and let you know, I am absolutely not interested in being with you or any other Caucasian woman on India.
But
Look at some of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment here says excommunicated. Kicked him right out of the black community. Here's somebody else who says, once Dr. Umar say you're excommunicated, that's law, buddy. The laughing emoji, it's official. Do you guys think at this point that Dr. Umar is more of a comedian than anything else? I mean, most people who I know think he's funny, including myself, by the way, but don't really take him that seriously when it comes to the whole rhetoric of like, don't date outside of your race and blah, 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 blah. Now, do we see people suffering consequences? Guys, like I've always said, there's a reason why black men are hesitant to date outside the race. It does happen. There are a lot of situations where black men get falsely accused. I'm not going to act like that stuff doesn't happen, but I still don't think policing love and relationships should be a serious conversation that should be taken seriously at all. On this note on false accusations, do you guys remember Angry Reactions? Have you guys heard of Angry Reactions? He's the guy that actually dated Just Pearly Things and was really popular on TikTok a while back. He got accused of DV with his girlfriend. The charges got dismissed. He did spend some time in jail. So here are a bunch of his videos. These are older videos. So here's a type of the videos that he made before his current situation.
Stop scrolling right now. Who the hell told you to look this good today? I did.
And so he would like pretend to be this angry man. And then when the DV charges started to go viral, which he was telling everybody that they were false, people, of course, started to have a field day with his media personality, saying shit like, Angry Reactions finally got angry for real. And just going in on him.
This angry reaction situation isn't over.
She's showing bruises of me defending myself from her, and she making the internet think that.
Now, before I even start, everything I say is alleged and from their point of view. But for you guys who don't know, popular TikToker known as Angry Reactions was arrested for alleged domestic last month. Well, the charges got dropped, and Angry Reactions said that he was moving on from the situation, and he also said he was done with TikTok. At that point, many people thought that the situation was over until last night when all hell broke loose, starting with Angry Reactions going on live and saying this.
We have a son together. We have a son. And what's crazy is you're in the apartment that I'm paying for right now. You're in an apartment that I'm paying for right now. You have to see me. You're doing all of this internet stuff. You're talking about getting a restraining order on me. All of this started today because I was trying to talk some sense to you. I never got loud. I never got aggressive. I never got none of that today. You did. You did. All of this started because I was trying to talk to you. You have to see me. You're doing all of this for the internet. But when you see me in real life, Sierra, it's only me and you. And we both know what it is. So what you gonna say to me then? What you gonna say to me? We both know what, I don't care about none of this internet stuff. We both know what actually goes on behind closed doors. So you doing all of this like you never have to see me again. What are you gonna say to me when you see me again? You gonna say you sorry? You gonna say you was mad? You gonna say you was emotional? You gonna say you shouldn't have did it? You gonna say you wish you could have took it back like you always say? Okay, brother. Okay. Okay.
Now, once that clip started to make its rounds throughout TikTok and going viral, Sierra, his significant other, made several videos, and I want to say go check out her page for 100% context, because some of the things she was in and showing, I don't even know if you can do that on TikTok without getting your account eventually banned. But she states that she dropped the charges, that he's lying, that he has been putting his hands on her, that she has put her hands on him, but only after he screamed in her face and she wanted to get away. She continues to say that he put his hands on her while she was pregnant, that he has put his hands around her neck attempting to, and that he has destroyed some of her property. She also posted pictures of bruises on her body, property getting destroyed, and more.
And so the recent video that was sent to me was this video where I said, okay, I'm probably going to talk about this. He's crying on camera. I mean, I'm talking crying, snot, tears, all that. No more waste of time. Let's check it out. He's on the phone with his dad, by the way. Let's check it out.
This girl is making the world think that I be over here abusing her, bro. I know, man. This girl and Ed, the pictures, they look bad, bro. They look terrible. And you know I'm not this type of person. You know this. You know this. She knows this. She knows this.
Let's keep watching, man.
And she's making everybody think that and you know I'm not this type of person. You know I'm not this. You know this, bro.
Guys, listen to me. Listen to me. Why on camera? I understand the man's probably going through it. But I'm going to give him the same smoke that I give to the women who get on camera and talk about their private issues and cry publicly. Why on camera? I understand you're hurting and you're going through it, but getting on camera, I'm telling you guys, no matter who you are and crying about a situation and a relationship, just like with Jonathan Majors, even though they were both toxic, you should not have been involved in a relationship where someone pushed you to get physical with them. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what Jonathan Majors tried to tell everybody about his situation. How many times she initiated physical altercations. The bottom line is they're going to look at it like, okay, well, you're bigger, you're stronger. You hurt her, so by default, you become the aggressor. You are the man. Don't believe that you're equal. You need to control your emotions around women. You don't touch her. You leave. You control your emotions. You don't touch her. You walk away. You don't continue a relationship with the woman who causes you to step out of frame. You do not. How many times do men have to see this over and over and over and over again? And he's over here crying. You're not going to get sympathy from people online. Or you're going to get, in most cases, especially since your girl is white, and this is not me saying this because I'm looking out by actually giving other men constructive criticism here, but People don't care. Most people online don't care. It's entertainment. For example, this comment that says, a man will do all this and still be lying. Now the commenter here who says, black women, not our problem. So, ... What is everyone having for breakfast? Here's somebody else who says, you too damn big to be talking about. She started it. Oh, man. Here's another comment that says, so he's upset that she showed evidence, not that he actually harmed her? Guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she came at you and, you know, like in the Jonathan Major situation, you were fighting over the phone. And, you walk away, you leave, you don't associate yourself with the woman. He's talking about every time she started. Why was there a second, a third, a fourth time? This has nothing to do with this brother and his situation. I'm talking about any man who may be currently in a situation like this. Do not get involved with the woman who takes you out of frame. And that's assuming that you're in control of your emotions yourself, because every person, man and woman, should be keeping their hands to themselves. Let's keep watching.
You know we only ever get physical when she initiated first. She always putting her hands on me. I never called the police on her.
You know we only ever get physical first. No. You know we only ever get physical when she initiated first. Just that statement lets me know that it happened all the time. If these were two women, it would be looked at differently. When you're in this situation and you're bigger and you're black on top of that, it does matter. Now, a lot of people like to say, well, a black woman would never falsely accuse you. Yes, they would. Asian woman, whatever woman you're with, do not allow yourself to get so emotional that you're acting out of character irrationally and getting physical with a woman.
She's showing bruises of me defending myself from her, and she making the internet think that... Bro, you know this, bro. You know this, bro. You know how you raised me, bro. You know how you raised me, bro. And I just got through all of this drama. And she was on my side. She sitting there telling everybody, oh, I could have sent you to jail if I pressed charges. And, brother, you know, Ed, you know, I'm not this type of, you know this.
Let me tell you a bitter truth about society. A man crying like this in front of camera uncontrollably does not elicit the same response than when a woman does it. When people see you as a man losing it to this extent emotionally, this is just the truth. This is just some coffee I'm serving you. It's bitter. You're just confirming in their minds that you're a man who lacks emotional control, even if you are going through it. That is just the truth. Don't do this. There's nothing else. If you're going to do anything else, get a therapist, call somebody, like have the phone call not on camera of you crying. It's not painting you as the victim. That's not what it's doing. Crazy.
You know this, bro. Everybody coming at me again, bro. Bro, bro, I'm so so mad right now, bro. I'm so mad right now, bro. I'm so mad, bro.
Let's check out more comments here. Another comment here says, so he's upset that she showed evidence, not that he actually harmed her. Here's somebody else who says, LOL, keep messing with them white women. It's not looking good. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Overall, I'm glad that his case was dismissed, because that's what I'm hearing. Let me see here. I think that's what I heard. Let me see if I can find it.
Speaking about stuff y'all have no clue about. I learned all this from my lawyer recently. Do you know only 0.2% of women actually get on the stand and like testify against their partner, against the person who actually abused them? Only 0.2%. That's why in cases like these, the state picks up the case. She didn't want me to go to jail to begin with. So soon as she said, no, I don't want him arrested, they arrested me anyway, and it was now their case. She had no say so. She didn't have to go to court. She was good. It was their job to gather all the evidence that they had and present it to a judge. And that's exactly what they did. And the judge looked at it, seeing that it was bullshit, and he dismissed it. Period. I didn't pay nobody off. I didn't have to. I was innocent from the jump. 90% of the people who was posting that I got arrested.
See, this video right here was released on the 10th. This video of him crying that we just saw before this was released yesterday. The only thing I can say is this, is when I look at a lot of these situations, I'm not going to just jump straight to avoid all white women because all white women are going to land you in this situation. I've mostly dated black women my whole life. As you guys know, my wife is black. You know, I met her here in the U.S., yes. Wife is from Chicago. I've never preferred dating outside my race, but there are plenty of guys who in these comments are married to white women, Asian women, other race of women. There are plenty of guys who've been accused of putting their hands on their woman when that chick was lying, who were married to women of their own race and they were black. A lot of these stories are men who are in relationships with women who are toxic. There's a pattern of toxicity. You need to realize that this type of a situation with the woman can destroy you, and not to take that too lightly. This guy had brand deals. He had fame. He had an image that was otherwise positive, you know, a play on him with the whole angry reactions thing, but it was overall positive. But now he will forever be remembered for this. Can you think of anything else he can do where people will not look back and bring this up? No. Be careful. Watch your back. If you get any hint of the type of dynamic where a woman is pushing you to the point where she's coming at you and getting physical, and then you have to, you feel like you have to respond physically to protect yourself, and the only other option is to leave, you need to leave. Otherwise, you get to suffer the consequences of that. No one's going to feel bad for you, bro. This is just the reality of being a man out here by getting online and crying. Doesn't matter how much snot comes out of your nose and tears and how many times you get different angles, and people just don't care, especially if you're dating outside of your race, especially black women. They don't care. You already know about that. Okay, moving on. We have a woman here who's upset about her experience using dating apps. She's upset that she's not getting the type of results that she wants from dating apps. She's tired of getting played. Modern women are single, getting used and abused on dating apps still. And it's only getting worse. No more wasting time. Let's get into it. Moving on. Man shares the cost of his divorce and what he lost. Check it out.
So how much did my divorce cost me? Well, this is a fantastic question. There's direct and there's indirect costs. Direct costs, I lost $106,000 out of my 401k retirement plan I spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half the equity in the home, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash, and savings that I also spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half of all the non-liquid assets like furniture, household goods, electronics, cars. Keep in mind, I paid for all of these. And this is in addition to financially supporting her and her/our daughter for 17 years, which is many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm now broke, live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and have a negative net worth for the first time since I was, 25.
Mercy.
Indirect costs, my job, my sobriety, my self-worth, my masculinity, my hope for the future, my ability to trust women again, my belief in God, my pride, my motivation, my physical health. I don't know, let's just say everything. Divorce cost me, well,
I still do believe that divorce is probably one of the most traumatic things that happen to the majority of men who get married today. I believe that. It's a risk that if you're willing to take, you have to understand there is a high chance of failure. Now, of course, a lot of the comments in here, like this top comment that says, do not get married. Or you see people who say, don't get married, don't have kids. I think comments like this are just as ridiculous as the guys who tell men you need to get married because that's what God wants you to do and it's the right thing to do. They're all ridiculous. I think you are intelligent enough to look at a story like this and ask yourself, is this a risk you're willing to take if you value having a family that much? You know, a lot of people say, well, you can have kids and not get married, but then don't understand that kids are also a huge, huge burden, if not probably one of the things you cannot escape once you decide to marry somebody. This person goes on to say prenups do not do anything anymore. That's not true. A lot of people think prenups are set up to make sure that your wife doesn't get away with anything at all. And they'll use Dr. Dre in that example, and a lot of times when the truth is a prenup is set up so that you don't get effed royally. You can't avoid the fact that men are going to get married, regardless of what you think or say. And you can't avoid the fact that a lot of men are not going to get married. If you do get married, you definitely want to sign a prenup. If you don't get married, then you don't have to worry about that. But if you're still deciding to have children, then you're going to still deal with family court, right? All this is very relative. I would suggest you go check out the lead attorney and make sure that you are following the proper steps to get a prenup if marriage is something that you still value and want to risk. Somebody else here says, people say you lose 50% on divorce. I literally lost 120 of my net worth paying for attorneys, lost house, car, because she needs 1 plus child support and alimony. I'm in debt now, no house. Another person who says, I'm 70, single, and I'm a millionaire. Somebody else here says, never marry. Got it. Here's somebody who says, and she's probably flourishing. Here's another person who added, divorced here, lost everything as well. Never get married, guys. Somebody else who says, sign everything under your parents' name. Got it. Here's a guy who says, my divorce cost me $2.5 million plus child support, but honestly, it was worth it. I think videos like this are very important because there are too many people right now. A lot of men right now are on the fence. A lot of men are on the fence when it comes to marriage. Some men are like, I don't know, man. It's looking like it's not for me, and that's okay. You should be allowed to choose that. And you've got men who've been through a marriage before. You should be allowed to say, no, I do not want to get married again. You should be allowed to say you don't ever want to get married. And if you do value marriage still, you should be allowed to say you still want to get married for sure. But just make sure you take the precautions to do what you can to make sure that you protect yourself as much as possible. another topic here I thought was worth talking about. We are going to be addressing the topic of Black people and tipping. This video is captioned, Black people don't tip. I've had a lot of jobs. I've worked in a restaurant. I actually worked in a Chinese restaurant. Yes, I did. I've experienced with this. We're about to get into it. I've worked a lot of weird jobs, man. Like I told you guys, I was like a CNA for a while. I've worked in warehouses. I was a truck driver for a little bit, working for like a family business. Done a lot of different jobs, man. And this one I think is interesting. Let's check it out.
I saw this post about black people not tipping, and as a black male who served tables for 3 years, I can honestly say that that post is not a lie, bro. Black people don't tip, bro. Like, when I started off, I tried to give everybody the same service and take care of people the same way and expect the same thing from everybody, regardless of race, just because I'm like, bro, I don't know. I can't judge somebody off of first glance. But after constantly not getting tipped after giving great service, and I know everybody think they gave great service. I used to give great service when I was an amazing server. And after constantly giving great service and getting stiffed every single time from black people, I'm not going to lie just because I'm black and say black people tip. One time I had a party of 31 and got $8 that I served by myself.
That's bullshit.
I got $8 out of that table. From then on, bro, that showed me black people don't tip. And it's because most black people don't grow up with people around them who tip.
This is
I
true.
didn't see my parents tip ever.
This is true.
I didn't learn about tipping until I started serving. So that's just what it is, bro. You can't deny, you can't hate on it. That's just the facts, bro. Most of the time, black people do not tip, especially if you're another black person. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you serve tables or have served tables before, let me know in the comments.
All right, so I know black people don't tip because I used to be one of those black men who did not tip. But I remember hanging out with a friend, and which happens to be my best friend, by the way. And I've been friends with him since high school, but I remember watching him tip. And he would tip almost everywhere he went. And the thing that stood out to me the most was just how differently he was treated based on him tipping. How differently he was treated. He would get free desserts, extra drinks. The waiters take care of you if you can tip. And on top of that, a lot of people don't understand that the waitresses survive off the tips. They budget the tips into their earning potential for that month. Let me say it this way. A lot of people who become waiters don't become waiters because they think, oh, I'm going to make this much per hour. It's the tips. The tips are what draw people to the job. And so if you are known for not tipping well, you're kind of not participating in this culture that pays people for their good service. Let's check out some comments here. I don't know what we're going to see here because I haven't checked out these comments. Are we going to see excuses or are we going to see the truth? First comment here says, people who never served or ever worked in food industry don't get it. It's true. It's a losing battle to argue with those non-tippers. Don't waste your time. Okay, so there seems to be other videos, it sounds like, of people who are rebuttaling what this guy's saying. Here's somebody else who says, anyone remember the video of the guy trying to get his food for free because it wasn't right, but he ate it all? Oh yeah, that's another thing, man. Let me tell you what used to go on in the Chinese restaurant I used to work in. Black people love Chinese food, man. And this place was one of the most popular Chinese restaurants in the area. So whenever a group of black people come in, my boss would joke with me and say, oh, your people are here, you know, go welcome them, sit them down, blah, blah, blah. She would joke around like that. I know to a lot of people, they'll get offended very easily. I used to tell jokes all the time, like, you know, black man working in a Chinese restaurant. The cooks in the back, I had a great relationship with everybody. There was one other guy who was black there that worked there as well. Cool dude. But another thing that used to happen that I used to notice is a lot of black people were notorious for doing exactly what this chick was talking about in the comment section. Returning their food. You could almost bet that there would be at least one plate or two or three sometimes that would be turned back, and they would expect you to take that off the final receipt. And, you know, I think this is like one of those things where you say this and people say, no, you were just noticing it because they were black or whatever. But again, these are black people here who are sharing their experiences. Here's another comment that says 95% of the time it's a nightmare. Something is always wrong with their food. Come on, man. They always want something sent back. They always want a discount or it removed from the bill completely, even though they, I'm assuming she's going to say ordered it. She goes on to say, and then their defense is always make your employer pay you a livable wage. When if that were to happen, they would complain even more about how much the food costs because they failed to realize they would raise the cost of the food as well.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Another comment here says, I'm a black man who served for many years. It's true, black people do not tip. Here's somebody who says, I can 100% attest to this. It's true. And something is always going to be sent back every time. Oh no, we got a white person here who chimed in. Somebody else who says this is so true. I had a party of 10 whose bill came up to $600. I got tipped $0. Servers remember these things. Servers remember these things. And the way you get treated if you are a black person who tips is almost unreal. The type of gratitude you are shown. But I think he has a point there by saying that if you haven't worked in food industry, then I think like how do other people know this stuff? But when it comes to black people, when we have these conversations, it's a no. My parents, by the way, my parents, them being immigrants, this is not a thing in Africa. You don't tip. I was raised up in the U.S. most of my life, but they didn't tip either. I didn't learn it from home. Black people don't tip across the board. Doesn't matter where they're from. Let's check out this next video. I saw a few more responses to this video. Let's see what this person had to say. Let's get it.
I saw this post about black people not tipping, and that's a black male who served tables for 3 years.
Someone said, why do you think all those black restaurants have auto gratuity? The servers and bartenders, when it gets tips, and then they have to quit. Oh my God, that's so bad. What was that to say?
Yeah, I would suggest the same thing. If you're starting like a restaurant and your main customer base are going to be black people, then you're going to probably want to add gratuity to that. Hold on, there's actually a lot of people here who chimed in about this conversation. Let's see what this other chick had to say.
Constantly giving great service and getting stiffed every single time from black people.
Your service is bad. I'm tipping you $0. I will gladly write $0. I don't care if you do get paid less than minimum wage. You're going to get paid.
This is who we're talking about right here. Perfect example.
Minimum wage for the hours you work, because by law, your employer is supposed to pay you for that day if you make less than you would have made.
Perfect. Perfect.
Do minimum wage. We both know that you get paid off tips. So why are you coming up here with a bad attitude? Why, when I ask you for something, you can't do it? Why you only came to the table 2 times the whole time I've been here? And then you still expect the tip. If it has gratuity already, I would gladly ask for a manager to take the gratuity off. And y'all can say what y'all want to say, but I'm not finna reward you for not doing your job. And I'm a good tipper. But if your service is bad, I'm not going to sit here and give you a $20 tip and you think you did something. Because then when the next person come in, you're going to still have that same attitude. You're going to still move the same way. And you're going to expect people to tip you when you don't deserve it.
So she's basically saying most black people have really bad customer service. I don't think that's true. What do you guys think of that? I don't think that's true.
It's not because black people don't.
Now, hold on. Are we talking about black businesses? Right? Like a black owned restaurant? Or are we talking about a black waitress? Because I think those are two different things right there. The best customer service, some of the best customer service I've gotten were from black women. Or from black women. Now, if we're talking about a black owned business running a restaurant, that's another conversation. That's a whole nother type of conversation.
Tip is because you suck. Don't get me wrong. There are people who come into places and they don't tip after they ask you for this, and that. But that's just not black people. My biggest tips have came from black people. I've had black people tip me over $200, and I've had other races tip me $0. And it seems like some people have this attitude that when black people come into an establishment, oh, they're not going to tip. If you come in with the attitude to do a good job, you're going to make money regardless. Even if this table don't tip you nothing, that table probably going to tip you $50. You never know, because they probably see you, how hard you're working over there, and these people giving you a hard time. And the whole gratuity thing, I personally don't expect people to tip me on top of gratuity, because I understand it's automatically 20% and most people tip 20%. That makes a lot of sense. But there are establishments out here that people work for who's taking 50% of your gratuity, 40% of your gratuity, and in that case, you need to take that up with your establishment, not with your customers. And as an establishment, you shouldn't be being that greedy anyway, because you already know that if people have to pay gratuity, they're most likely not going to tip. So looking out for your waitresses, you need to be either paying an hourly pay or giving them 100% of their gratuity. The prices on the food, that's what you're making. You're already not coming out of pocket to pay your waitresses, so why do you feel that you need to take out gratuity?
Hey, I'm sure y'all have heard the stereotype that black people aren't great tippers. And it's so unfortunate that that's a stereotype, because now that that's ingrained sort of in the service industry, like it's become this sort of like self-perpetuating machine or cycle. Like in the case of a restaurant, a black party comes in, they sit down. The server of that section sees this party and they're like, well, I'm not going to get tipped well. So they end up not providing as good a service as they normally do. Problem is, now that the black party isn't getting good service, they're like, well, I'm not going to tip. So now the server feels validated in not providing as good a service because they didn't get a good tip. The problem is also, if the black party just tips anyway a good amount, the server could also be validated to provide mediocre service and still, you know what I mean? So how do we fix that? How can we fix that cycle?
Let me tell you guys something. I'm telling you this. Trust me when I tell you this, guys. Tipping when you go out with the intention of tipping fairly, right? Based on someone's performance and you're being reasonable. Tipping will change your dining experience. I promise you. People remember. Don't worry about how you're going to go out and change the world and fix the black community when it comes to. Most people don't have the self-humility, patience, introspect. You're not going to fix these problems like that. But you can fix your life and what you do. And I'm here to tell you that if you go out, follow what I say here, and you tip, and don't tip emotionally, but you tip. There's some people who go to the same spot at least 5 times in a month. 5 times 5 is 25. I'm talking about you going to the same spot by yourself. And you tell yourself, every time these people go out of their way to do something kind for me at this place, I'll tip them $5. You may not even give them the full 25. But if it's the majority of the times you go there, and let's say you tip them $15 a month because you frequent that spot, that will change the way they interact with you, I promise. And you might say, how? They will look to serve you first. They will recognize you out of a group of people. They will go out of their way to make sure that you're treated better. you get treated differently. The waiters, the waitresses, they remember this. They remember the people who tip them, and they want to treat those people better. You're not going to fix this issue as a whole, but you can fix your own experience with the tipping, and tell me that it doesn't improve your experience. Tell me that you don't get more out of it. All right, so this is our last topic. Have you guys heard of this Planet Fitness situation? Planet Fitness lost $400 million after a woman spotted a man in the woman's bathroom.
Planet Fitness.
And reported that man. He was in there shaving. Check it out. This video is captioned, Planet Fitness lost $400 million in the last 5 days. Let's get it.
Planet Fitness lost $400 million in the last 5 days. A female gym goer took this photo of a man who apparently just started transitioning. This person claims to be a woman, but was shaving his face in the women's locker room when this photo was taken. Patricia Silva, the real woman who took the photo, complained to the employees. Their response was, if you feel uncomfortable, you can go into a stall. That's in line with their official policy, which says members will be treated according to their self-reported gender identity, meaning that any man can say he identifies as a woman and walk into the woman's locker room and watch females undress. They canceled Patricia's membership because she complained about this. Planet Fitness is gonna lose a lot more than just $400 million. Bud Light lost over $1.4 billion over their version of this fiasco. Planet Fitness already makes dumb decisions like serving pizza and donuts to people who are trying to lose weight. This might be the final nail in their coffin. Go woke, go broke, bud.
So there's a few problems here with this whole situation. You're not supposed to assume someone's gender, right? You're not supposed to assume what gender they are. So by looking at a man standing there shaving, in your mind, you're seeing a man. You're not going to assume that that's a woman, or is it only okay to assume that that person, because they're in a woman's bathroom, is a woman, and that they're not a man who's trying to sneak into a woman's bathroom for some weird, creepy reason? Someone please help me understand, because it's offensive to look at a trans woman and say, sir, because they look like a man. You're supposed to call them by how they present themselves, which is a woman. So if you walk into a restroom and you see a man shaving, you're assuming this person's presenting themselves as a man because they're shaving their beard. How are you wrong for then affirming who they're presenting themselves to be in that moment, which is a man shaving, and then losing your membership because you asked them to leave, or you reported them, actually. She said she reported him. So what's happening right now, a bunch of people are canceling their Planet Fitness memberships, and they've lost like $400 million. A lot of people are canceling their memberships. A lot of people didn't know that they had that policy. This first comment says, I'm going to join. Love me an empty gym. Here's somebody else who says, oh, okay. So this person's like, I'm going to go join the gym. Wow. Another comment who says, as a former manager of Planet Fitness, this is all facts. The rules are crazy. Former manager here. Another person who says, wife and I canceled our membership after 6 years. We stand together. Here's somebody else who says, the gym will be empty. Definitely not canceling mine. Here's another commenter who says, canceled mine today. Another woman who says, I canceled mine. Somebody else who says, Planet Fitness, I'm out. Here's another person who says, going in tomorrow to cancel mine. Somebody else here added, OMG, I just canceled mine and all 5 of my daughter's memberships. 0, I'm canceling mine today or tomorrow. Canceling mine last week. Cancel. This is not like the Target situation, because a lot of people were really mad about the Target situation where they were selling the LGBT clothes in the sections for children, and people were like, oh no. And Target did that on purpose so that they could raise their ESG score, and they knew they were going to lose money. No, this is a little bit different because they didn't plan to lose all this money. It just so happened to be that this situation triggered that type of response that exposed their policy, which most people probably wouldn't have known about if it wasn't for this situation. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Curious to know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts down below. I appreciate you as always for checking out another segment of What's Brewing. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.